It's no secret that Scottie Scheffler is the best golfer on the planet right now. His ball striking across the board is absolutely exceptional. He's an excellent chipper. He can hit the ball a mile off the tee. Just an all-around great player. But earlier this year, struggled quite a bit with his putting. It was really the only thing that held him back. And then he switched over to a mallet putter. And that just fully changed the game for Scottie. So let's talk about how a mallet putter really altered the way that Scheffler putts, and clearly for the better. Now, in order to talk about Scheffler's improvement with the flat stick, it's important to understand what his issues were. From what I saw of Scheffler putting with the blade, the often miss was out to the right, so a little bit of a push with that blade putter for a right-handed golfer. And generally, what we see with a push is maybe being a little bit out of sync, letting those arms get ahead of the body, and perhaps even having that right wrist be a little bit too lazy and not releasing through the putt if that right wrist stays pretty open, as will the club face. Now, if you think of an open club face with a driver, that ball is going to start right and it's also going to slice right. With a putter, it's the same thing. It won't really slice right because it's just a putt and it can't spin through the air, but it will have that push effect and start to the right. So how did a mallet change this for Scheffler? Well, the biggest difference that a mallet brings as opposed to a blade is how heavy it is. And that weight, which is differently distributed throughout the club face, allows a player to flow through the stroke a little bit more and frankly let the putter do a little bit more of the work. So what we see out of a lot of the best golfers who use a mallet putter is that there's not a ton of feel in the hands or the wrists. The stroke is really heavily dictated by the shoulders. So if you watch all of these clips of Scheffler putting with the mallet, you can see that the wrists aren't really active at all. The forearms, there's not a lot of strain, not a lot of work in that. The entire stroke seems to be a rocking of the shoulders. And that's what we want to see. When you get into really being overactive with the hands and the wrists, you have to be incredibly skilled, have great hand-eye coordination, and spend a lot of time practicing in order to get a ton of feel. So for mere mortals, the weekend golfer, a mallet is usually the best option. And for some of the world's very best golfers who have all kinds of time to practice and feel things out, it also helps them because they don't want to be on the greens guessing. They don't want to be on the greens having to use creativity in the arms and the wrists. For Scheffler, he's incredibly creative around the greens. He can hit all kinds of shots. He's very crafty with his ball flights, hitting approach shots. He can hit the high fade, and then the next swing he can hit a low draw. Very impressive stuff. But sometimes on the greens, golfers don't want to do that. It's not necessarily that they can't do it, but when Scheffler is in crunch time, he doesn't want to think about all those things with the putter and the feel of a blade putter. He wants to be able to rely on the heavier weight of a mallet and feel that stroke entirely through his shoulders. I also think that this is why some of the very best putters to ever live, they all use blades. There are very few excellent putters in history who have used mallets. Part of that is because mallets haven't been around for too long. But if you look at prime Jordan Spieth, prime Tiger Woods, Brad Faxon, Ben Crenshaw, people who are universally considered to be the greatest putters to ever live, they all use blades because they have a natural gift, they have a feel, and frankly, the very high majority of people don't have that. So turning to a mallet putter gives them a little bit more confidence in the weight of that putter. They also have longer lines because you have a longer putter head. There are longer lines which can give you easier visuals. That's something that Scheffler has certainly benefited from. But there are a plethora of reasons why someone like Scottie really started putting better and feeling more confidence. That's the big part of this. No matter what you have in your hands to hit putts with, it could be a 3-wood. If a professional golfer, someone of elite talent, if that person is confident with the club in their hands, then they're going to start being aggressive and hitting smart putts that often find the bottom of the hole. And that's exactly what happened with Scheffler when he found that mallet putter. I'd love to hear your thoughts on Scheffler's putting and how it's improved with the mallet. And if you have any experience of your own with the mallet, please leave those thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoy this type of content and other golf instructional content, feel free to subscribe to the channel. As always, thank you all very much for watching. Play well and take care.